welcome to the Tea and a Butty podcast. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Erica.
Well, welcome back. This is our first podcast of 2021.
Yeah.
And it's going swimmingly so far, isn't it? Really.
You guys, we have not had the best start to 2021.
Well,
so
no,
far.
we haven't. No.
So we were around my brother at Christmas time, and apparently he caught COVID from a coworker and gave it to everyone.
Well,
I laugh. It's not really a laughing matter.
we didn't want it, but we got it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, actually, Dominic and I never got tested, but the doctors...
We did the quarantine.
Yeah, the doctors and stuff around my brother were like, yeah, everybody you've been around is basically got it, so there's no real reason for them to get tested, just quarantine for 2 weeks, which we've done, and it has not been fun, and it's actually up today.
Yeah, today is the final day.
Yeah, so, I mean, really, I guess we could have recorded podcasts last week because we were home. We were able, just not necessarily physically able.
Well, it took me out a lot. And I mean, I'm still kind of getting over it because, I mean, it's still around.
Yeah.
It won't be gone for a couple more months, I think.
The unfortunate thing in Austin is there's really, really long and like hardcore cedar season here. So if you have any sort of cedar allergies,
which I do,
from like basically the middle of December until the end of February, it's cedar season, and you can get this thing called cedar fever, which basically you can get a fever with. You can get like,
it's basically for me, it's like runny nose and itchy eyes, really, really itchy eyes. It's like first thing in the morning, you're just rubbing those eyes till they sink into your skull, basically, you know.
But the drainage can make you cough. You can feel kind of run down.
I felt all that. Yeah.
Some of the symptoms, unfortunately, overlap between COVID and cedar fever. So, it's a little bit like, do I have one? Do I have the other? But since we were around him and he was actually tested positive, and so did my niece, and actually my uncle and his wife. and I know you guys, before anybody starts like griping at us, obviously we should not have all been together because COVID is so like there's so many cases of it right now.
It's a little bit out of control.
We know, but I mean, we all literally had not been around anybody else except for my brother, who had to go to work. And unfortunately caught it from his boss. So, it's like these things just happen sometimes, and it's unfortunate. And luckily we all made it through. So, so as bad a start to 2021, I suppose it could have been much worse. So we made it through. We do definitely recommend you guys continue to stay away from people if you can, because it's not fun. We've been knocked down with this now for a couple weeks, and I mean, I don't know if you can tell in my voice, but I've still got some lingering effects.
From because
so it's better to just avoid it if you can stay at home, stay away from other people, and we're sort of a walking PSA for that. But anyway, we've made it through that. And then just, you guys know what's been going on. Yeah,
what's been going on?
if you've had the news
what's
on
going
at all.
on?
Yeah. When was it now? I feel so like behind, because I don't think
it was last week.
I don't think we have not
Wednesday,
recorded a podcast in the last
week.
No, I mean in the last 2 years since we started podcasting. I don't think we've missed a week.
Yeah, no, we that was the
only week.
Yeah, that was the last week. Yeah, the last thing we missed. But I think it was last week that this happened. Yeah. This particular news item.
And you guys know the news item, and we weren't really going to talk about it because we try not to get into politics and all of that kind of, touchy subjects, but
I think it's gone beyond politics now.
Yeah.
Though.
Oh, it absolutely
gone absolutely beyond.
Yeah.
And not above, below and beyond, really.
Yeah.
Basically, the storming of the Capitol, if you can call it that.
That's what we're referring to. Cryptic or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we had actually, I don't even think I've had the news on. We've been watching a lot of YouTube, a lot of like just streaming television. So
yeah.
We haven't really had the television on much, but I think it was my mom. I can't remember actually. Somebody texted me and was like, "Have you seen the news?"
Well, yeah, and I hadn't really checked Twitter or anything about it, really.
Yeah.
So I just, I just didn't really see anything about it. Maybe I saw it like a fraction of a second. Like I looked at something and someone said something or something, and I just like, oh, well, they're storming the Capitol right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you mean?
What does that even mean?
Congress, whatever. And it's... And yeah, you said, oh yeah, you got to turn on the TV, And so we turned it on. It was just like, oh my God. I mean, what were they do? What were they hoping to accomplish with that?
Yeah. My first thought was, okay, 2020 is like the year that will not die. It's like everybody expected the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve, like all of a sudden everything would be fine going into 2021, and that has just not been the case so far.
It's not been the case so far, guys. No. I mean, it looks like it's getting better. It looks like there's a light at the end of the tunnel for everything.
Yeah.
Not just COVID, not just, the
We had snow yesterday,
politics.
You guys. It was so...
And we had snow yesterday, and we went on Instagram, and we Instagrammed it all up.
Yes. If you follow us on Instagram, you got about a billion stories.
Yesterday.
Insta-huns?
Yeah, Insta-huns, which we'll talk about in a future episode of the podcast.
Oh, I don't know what that means, but...
It's like, we're Insta-huns. We're on the, we're Insta personalities.
We inundated our Instagram with, like, just pictures and video. You would think that Dominic and I, neither one had ever seen snow.
We haven't
before.
seen snow. I mean, I haven't in years. I mean... I think maybe last or the year before we saw like a little light dust, ever so light dusting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it was like for like a fraction of a second.
Yeah.
Or an hour or something, But yesterday was full on snow day.
Yeah.
It was coming down like a snow globe, like one of those Hallmark films. The opening scene of a Hallmark film, it's just like so much snow coming down and people are like, yay!
And it's like actually sticking to your clothes. Yeah. One of the pictures that I took, Dominic's sweater was covered with all these little snowflakes stuck to him. And
loved it.
And it was just like, it looked like the terrible fake snow that they use in those Hallmark films, and it's like never melts. It just like lands on them and stays there permanently.
And there were big fat snowflakes too.
Yeah, oh my God, it was so
And they were falling
beautiful.
Slowly sometimes, and then they were falling in like a blizzard, and
And it wasn't too like super freezing, so it was like you could go out and enjoy it. We wore our masks even though we were outside.
Yeah.
But we had to go outside and enjoy it because
throw a few snowballs.
That just never happened. Yeah.
And you giggling away.
Yes, throwing snowballs indeed. But anyway, let's get back to like the terrible. Let's get back to the terrible discussion, and then maybe we'll lighten it up with a little more snow talk. But yeah, so we turned on the news and we saw that just absolute chaos,
madness
going on. And, it really just genuinely did feel like, where are we? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because, I mean...
You don't see that kind of stuff in America. I mean, the news anchors that were on were like, I don't know what countries they were naming out, but they were naming out all these other countries that this kind
dictatorship,
of thing, Bolivia, and
dictatorship countries,
like
countries under a dictatorship. Yeah, it's just all. It was very surreal.
It was very surreal, and like you said, to what end? What end that they were doing this?
Because I mean, we stopped watching for like an hour. Mm-hmm. Oh no, half an hour. Or
yeah,
something.
I left
it back on. They were like, oh, they're all gone.
I I left it on,
They
but I
cleared them
muted
out.
it because I was like, okay, I can't listen to this anymore. Because, you know, after a point, they're just saying the same things over and over and over, and they're just showing the same footage from, like,
Same
earlier
images,
on.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like, all right, you know, like, wake me up when wake me up when something new has happened, basically. And I think I turned on something on YouTube, or, you know, I was watching a show or something, literally 30 minutes. And I look back up at the television, and they've got everybody cleared out. They're like putting those metal the barriers out.
Yeah, I'm gonna put these barricades up now to stop anyone trying to get back in.
I was like, well, where is everyone? What happened?
Well, they called the National Guard in, you know.
Yeah.
They came in and just, you know, cleared the place out.
Yeah.
I think with tear gas and whatever, you know.
Oh, they were doing flashbangs, weren't they? I saw that later.
Those people needed the flashbangs in their life.
Yeah. But it was really unbelievable how quickly they cleared that out, and then they started getting all the senators and everybody back in, and I was just like, okay, because, you know, the media loves to make it sound like it's literally doomsday, and how are they going to get these people all out of here, and this is going to be and people did die. I don't want to make it
they went into lockdown at the Capitol.
Yeah, I think they initiated a curfew in Washington D.C. The mayor was like, okay, like nobody can be out past 6 p.m. I think, something like that. And but, you know, I didn't really think that was gonna work, because it's like these people are already have broken windows and like broken into the United States Capitol building. Like, what are they gonna care about a curfew, you know? But apparently they cared.
They were stupid enough to put themselves all over social media with it.
Oh my god, yes.
Coming in, filming themselves, going, yeah, bro, we're in the Capitol. Storming the Capitol, you know, taking back our country.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're identified now, you know, the FBI have got them.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it. That, you know, some of them lost their jobs, I heard, you know, because of straight on. You know, some guy was wearing his work tag.
What?
There was some photo of it. Yeah, he had like one of those beards, you know, and the MAGA hat on, and he was in there draped in the American flag or whatever, and he's there with his work tag on. You know, he works for, I can't remember what it was, but they, you know, of course, people on Twitter were like, "Oh, this guy."
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna find him. Oh yes, an employee has been placed on administrative leave while we investigate.
Yeah,
you know, and it's like, yeah, he's got fired. You know.
Can you imagine, like, spending time in jail for this reason? You know what I mean? Like,
and it was just like, yeah, stormed the Capitol for Trump. You know, and
stormed the Capitol, and then what? You know, that's what I really just did not understand.
And then the National Guard told me to go home, so I did.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, you're such a freedom fighter, you know?
Yeah. You know, and some people got killed. A woman got killed, like, pretty early on. Yeah.
And I can't remember who shot her.
I don't know if they've ever said.
I think it was Capitol
Maybe the police. Yeah.
Because I think it was a protest, and some of them were like former military veterans. You know, doing this stupid stuff.
You know, somebody that
It's like, yeah, you spend your life defending your country, but yet to, like, destroy it.
Yeah.
Destroy the, you know, like, the you know, one of the founding buildings of it, you know?
Jeez. You know,
that makes sense.
I got a message on Facebook from someone that I went to high school with, who shall remain nameless. And they were like, oh, well, you know, these are all Antifa people. Because I posted something on Facebook. Because, you know, sometimes I just can't help myself. Yeah. I try not to, you guys. Because I know that there's no real change in some people's minds about things. And I do live in Texas and yada, yada, yada. But sometimes I can't help myself, you know, because I do have opinions about things, and I'm allowed to voice my opinion if I so choose. And this person that I went to high school with messaged, you know, these are really Antifa people. These are not real Trump supporters. Like, they're wearing disguises. They're disguised as Trump people. And I did not reply to this person at all. I just didn't reply because, what do you say?
Yeah.
What do you say?
What do you say? I mean.
And they said, all respect and peace and love to your family and whatever, but you're wrong about this. And here's a picture of one of these supporters that was also just recently at a Black Lives Matter protest, and look, he's even wearing the same like costume or whatever.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't reply because it's like, this person I don't even know if I ever spoke to in high school. Like, we are literally Facebook friends because we went to the same high school. I don't even, they're not even somebody who was anything to me in high school.
Yeah.
And then I just had Godspeed, and I clicked on it, and I noticed they unfriended me. I guess because I didn't ever reply to their message, but it was just like, it was not such a loss or anything.
I'm willing to entertain the notion that they could have been acting as Trump supporters, because I'm not saying that the far left Antifa and all that, they're all great people and all this kind of stuff, and it's the same with Trump supporters. Not all Trump supporters are going to storm the Capitol and destroy things and do that. They're just kind of like saw that he lost and that's it. Yeah. But it's like it's because of that, and he incited it, and
again, I didn't reply to this person, but my first thought is, why would they do that? He lost the election. Like, he's gonna be out in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
What are they gaining by making Trump supporters look like crazy people at this point?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, again, I'm not.
There's an element that just want to be angry, and they, when a cause is done, when there's nothing left to be angry about, they look for something else to get angry over.
Right. There's people who don't even believe in anything. They just want to cause a fight.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's just go down. We heard that this is going to be a fight. Let's go down and get involved in this because, like, I guess.
Get down there in the mix,
Yeah. Yeah. But I wanted to like put a British spin on this because I saw a lot of British people on my Facebook and other places too going, what's going on in America? What is wrong with people over there? Obviously, this is like a very like fringe group. You know what I mean? Like, this group does not in any way represent the majority of Americans.
No, not at all. No.
But it did make me think, like,
they don't represent anyone really.
No. Right. Yeah. They're fringe. Like,
fringe twats.
They're not. I don't even really know. Like, there wasn't like a bunch of organizing going on even. It was literally just like, oh, let's go down and see what kind of trouble we can cause, But I was thinking, like, when's the last time or has there ever been an instance like this in Britain? I mean, I know there have been in other countries around the world. And obviously probably in Britain too. I mean, you and I were talking before about, there's a scene in Victoria, the PBS show about Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. Where there are like rioters and protesters and stuff, and they're outside of Buckingham Palace, and I think they're throwing things, breaking the windows.
I don't know if that was really like dramatized or whatever.
But I can see that probably happened in Victorian England.
I can imagine so. I mean, support for her though, was quite high.
Yeah.
Even the working class liked her.
Yeah.
Victoria, because she was, she did this and that and whatever.
But there were a lot of very unhappy people at that point in history in England.
Yeah.
but my point is that was Victorian England. Like, that was so long ago. Has there been anything in recent history that even remotely resembles anything like what went on in America's capital?
Right. Well, Downing Street has not been stormed.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
It couldn't, though, could it?
Well,
because they've got that fence.
They've got the gates now. Yeah, for years they didn't, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for years they just had a policeman outside.
Yeah.
And that was about as, security as it got.
Yeah.
But I think in, like, maybe the 70s or something, they put up protection because of the IRA and everything,
Oh, right.
So there's always been that kind of, like, element of, like, things are going to blow up.
Right.
Maybe literally,
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been a lot of, like, riots in London, say, that have kind of caught on across the country in Manchester and Liverpool and, Sheffield and all that, and up in Scotland and Wales too. I think the last time it majorly happened was 2011. And I think you should obviously remember that.
Well, what was it? Refresh my memory.
The Tottenham riots happened in 2011 when the police shot this guy who was carrying a weapon in Tottenham. Mm-hmm. And so everyone just went mad because they were like, oh, this local guy, you came in, you shot him, and And so they went mad, looting and everything, and then it kind of spread to, like, other areas of London, Brixton, Hackney, Bow, all those places. Yeah. It just started rising up, so the media attention got them. And so, with the media paying attention to it, social media, Twitter and everything, everybody said, oh, well, we're going to riot in Manchester too. Yeah. And it outgrew the fact that this kid was shot in Tottenham. Yeah, and that's always it just became like, oh, we're just going to riot, right. We're going to riot because we're just pissed off right now. Mm-hmm. So they rioted they were rioting all over the place. They were rioting in Sheffield.
We've had riots.
Leeds, Liverpool, Manchester, Sheffield, all the big cities, Glasgow, whatever, it was like a pandemic. Yeah. It was like an epidemic of, like, rioting. Yeah. And that's happened kind of before. I think the last time, mostly the riots happen in, like, cities in Britain.
That's different than breaking into, like, the Parliament. Like, busting a door down
they
of Parliament.
Haven't tried to do that yet, oddly enough. Yeah. Because that is kind of like, that should have happened, theoretically. It almost did with the poll tax riots.
When was that?
That was in 1990.
Oh, yeah.
When Thatcher decided, we're going to have a poll tax, and, and it was like, oh, God, and it was like a big riot there in Parliament Square and all over London and all over the country.
Because most of there you go. That's how British people protest, isn't it? They set up camps in Parliament Square, like tents, and they've got their signs the war, and everything. Yeah, and they just like
stop Brexit.
They just live.
And it's weird that Brexit didn't cause a riot. Yeah. As well.
Yeah.
Because, it's kind of like, something divides the country. Oh, there's going to be a few riots. Yeah. Shops are going to get looted. That's why you always see kind of like shops and stuff like that with the shutters that come down and stuff like that. It's because it's like simply locking the door isn't going to work. They're going to smash in and get it.
But like in America, we have those kind of riots, after a sports team wins, let's say.
Yeah, and, there's riots.
But we've never had like a group of people breaking into our nation's capital. Like, that is just insanity.
That's what usually happens in Britain, is like, there's a football riot. Yeah. And it's usually organised by gangs, who are like, gonna go get those Chelsea scum or whatever, and it's just like they've got no interest in football. They're just going down there with the striped hat on and the scarf, and they're like looking for a fight with the other team,
Right. Would you compare what happened recently here to the plot to blow up Parliament? That was more organized.
That was more organized, yeah. And it wasn't kind of like, it wasn't a riot. It wasn't, they weren't breaking in and, with intent to destroy. Well, they did have an intent to destroy, but it was like much more covert. Yeah. Than anything,
Yeah, because these people, they definitely, like, they broke in and you could just tell they were like, now what?
It was now what? Yes, I mean, they were a bunch of...
let's go take a selfie on Nancy Pelosi's desk, you know. Just like...
Yeah, they went in and they smashed up the offices and
threw papers on the floor.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what?
Yeah, I mean, it was just ridiculous.
It really was
just ridiculous.
I mean, it felt kind of scary at the time. It felt a little bit scary and like, this kind of thing only happens in like third world countries, let's say, you know.
Yes, and I mean, the thing is, that's unfortunately what other people in other countries, you know, not just Britain, but, you know, like Germany, France, you know, European countries are going, oh, America, they are the third world country.
Now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? People were saying that?
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
So it's like, you know, at the end of the day, it's, you know.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing, you know. It's
embarrassing.
embarrassing, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, Britain's embarrassed itself many times, and I mean...
Yeah.
You know, Brexit, you know.
Oh my gosh. But anyway, yeah, it snowed the other day.
Anyway, it snowed the other day. Isn't that wonderful? Everything's fine now. 2021 can stop right now because it snowed the other day. Fabulous.
That was a really poor segue, but you know what? We
got to lighten the mood here, you know.
We do, you
know.
Got to
lighten the mood. Get it up here. People laughing, you know. Get them laughing.
Everybody knows what happened, and you know, we just wanted to have like a little catch up with you guys because we did take a week off. So
yeah, we did.
Anyway, we're going to be getting back to normal this week.
Getting back on track.
And from now on, hopefully we're going to be recording some YouTube videos soon.
Yes, we've been saying that for the last 20 years.
I thought that as it was coming out of my mouth. I was like, we've been saying that for 20 years now. We have said that for months and months.
But 2021, we're going to do it. 2021, I'm done.
You know what? I had every intention of starting this year off with videos. Like, I guess in theory we should have started filming them last year, you know, so in the month of December. But December's just always such a busy month for us, you guys. I mean, as it is obviously for probably everyone.
I mean, well, every month is a busy month for us anyway, but it's, you know, we want to do this, so...
We do want to do it.
When something's important, you make the time.
Yes. We want you guys to send in... We've already asked you guys on Instagram, but just to like reiterate, just in case anybody has any fresh ideas, send us your ideas for videos, things that you want to see us talk about, because obviously we're probably going to
be live in color. We're doing this in color too.
We should do it in black and white. That would make us a little bit different from some of these
black
other
and
people.
white. Well, I don't know. Yeah, we might do it in black and white. That actually sounds not a bad idea, actually.
But yeah, give us your ideas, because obviously we're probably going to end up repeating some of the podcast topics that we've done, but unless you've been with us from the very beginning, you know, maybe it'll be different for you, or it'd be a bit of new content. And the videos, we're thinking at the moment, probably be like 10 minutes max.
10 minutes max.
Yeah.
Maybe stretched to 15, maybe.
Somewhere around there. I mean, because we don't want to just...
Because we're going to edit it all down and everything.
Well, and we don't want to just repeat ourselves.
Yeah, like we're doing now. Just keep going over and over and over. You know? Yes. Reiterating the same points. Hammering it home.
But yeah, so we'll see anyway. My thought is to possibly debut videos early for patrons.
Yeah.
And patrons that way we can kind of get a little bit of feedback. Maybe we'll just make videos
for patrons.
Oh, man, I mean, you know. To know. But anyway,
you have to pay to see us in color.
Oh my god, I don't think we could ever force anybody to do that. That would just be terrible. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, we appreciate your support. We hope you guys had a happy new year.
Yeah, if you had a good new year,
we hope you're all staying healthy and safe, and are planning on getting the vaccine just as soon as you're able.
Oh, yes.
We are.
Roll on the vaccine. Yeah. As soon as we're able to get it, we'll be down there getting the jab.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, thanks for sticking with us, and we hope to bring you guys more new, interesting, hopefully,
and funny content
within the coming weeks. So we appreciate you as always, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.